All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Spread the Positive podcast, man. Another very exciting episode. Someone I've been looking forward to sitting down with for a while. My guy, Jeremy Lee.
What's up? What's up?
How are you, sir?
Man, thanks for having me. What an honor.
Oh, man. This is way overdue. I say that for a lot of people, but this one's really overdue.
I mean, this is like the flagship podcast.
Man,
this is like Spread the Positive. Like, I know there's a lot going on, but this is like the big daddy. I can't screw this up.
Well, I appreciate that, but it's pretty tough to screw this up at the same time. Man, speaking of podcasting, you've done the podcasting, you've produced podcasts.
Yeah.
All things digital marketing. You're a father, you're a husband, you're a community leader, pastor,
former pastor.
Pastor.
I guess you never get out of it completely, huh?
Yeah, right. So I mean, I'm pumped to take it back to young Jeremy.
Sweet little
innocent young Jeremy Lee back in the day, man. Take us back, early passions, what childhood was like, and just kind of.
Oh dang!
I know.
Okay,
let's take it all the way back.
Family of origin and all that. Is this therapy? Did I end up in therapy?
Just a touch, man.
This is what you tricked me into this, man.
No, I didn't. Take us back, man. Take us back,
dude. I'm a son of a preacher.
Okay.
That's all a bit like being son of a military man. You know, because you get moved around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And all around the state of Mississippi. My dad was a pastor when I was younger. And then when I was in 8th grade, he moved us to Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
So he took over a position there at like a denominational level. So that basically means I was like this little country boy that got just taken all the way up to the big city. You know?
Right. That is quite the transition.
Yeah, but it's really marked me. I like to tell people, because I've got some Southern and some Yankee in me, I can either say bless your heart or F you, whichever we need to do, you know?
We can take it there.
No, but seriously, that does kind of mark as you get to know me. I try to be very kind, but at the same time, when I need to, I can be pretty direct. And it's really comes from both of my cultures that I had growing up. They were very, very different.
How long were you up in Baltimore?
From 8th grade to 12th grade.
Oh, so high school.
Yeah.
Wow. Those
my
are
whole
formative.
life, I never lived anywhere more than 4 years until I moved to Murfreesboro. That's why Murfreesboro is so special to me.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So because I went, all around Mississippi, then up to Maryland from 8th grade to 12th grade. Then I went back to Mississippi College for my college.
Wow.
Then we went out to Fort Worth, Texas for graduate school. Then all around the Nashville area for a little bit, and then we landed here, and it was here that we stayed.
That's
we were
it.
done.
Yeah,
having kids helps with that.
Right.
But my wife has a very similar story. She's actually a preacher's kid too.
Okay.
And so she the two of us both said, we all want what we didn't get,
right?
And we wanted roots. We wanted to put down roots somewhere, and Murfreesboro ended up being the place.
That's awesome, man.
Thankfully.
Right. Yeah. When did that happen? How long have you been here?
Well, we came when my son was 1 year old, and he's now 16,
wow.
About to be 17. So that means 16 years.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. Love it.
Yeah. So you've seen the whole blow up, all the good, bad, and the ugly, huh?
Yeah. It was pretty, there was a lot going on when I came.
Yeah.
But I think I didn't realize I came right in the middle of the beginning of it all.
Yeah.
Quite often I'd hear people tell stories of this used to be a field.
Yeah.
Just a year or two ago.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I still hear that.
So, yeah, man, I've witnessed the growth of Murfreesboro. I love the blue collarness of it. I love the college town feel. But you could live here years and not even know it's a college town.
Exactly.
I love being down on the square. I love the Civil War historical piece of it. That's how a lot of people know Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
I love the obviously love the proximity to Nashville. I've always loved Nashville.
Yeah.
And the centrality of it to the, to just all the places you can go from here. But then just in general, I have come to settle down and love Murfreesboro for now for the local business community.
Yeah.
I have fallen in love with the business owners and the diversity here and the spirit of the people.
That's dope.
It's unique.
Very unique. All right, let's take it back just a little bit before we get
Yeah.
into all things. I know that
Sure.
was a great segue for BBL, but let's take it back just a little bit.
I don't want to talk
know
about no BBL.
Hey, we'll get there for sure. So after grad school, or I guess let's take it like, what was the transition getting to Murfreesboro, planting those roots? What were you into? What was your wife into? All that.
Sure. When I was 18 years old, I kind of began working with churches and with camps. I went to Central Hills. The Southern came out there. Central Hills, our Royal Ambassador Camp in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, and it was just a summer job. I was a camp counselor, and man, it was in the middle of the woods, and we did everything. We cleaned up the sheets after they wet the bed. We made the food. We mowed the grass, and we did all the activities all day long. It was
that's tough.
It was a crazy experience.
Yeah. So that was when you first got here, and then you went off to the camp.
That was my freshman year of college.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Back at 18, but then during that experience, I felt it kind of is what led me into ministry.
Okay.
Just enjoyed working with the kids, kind of got that picture of, making a difference more than making a dollar.
Yep.
And then just realized I had some core gifts and wanted to utilize them. So came back to college and connected with a minister who started mentoring me, gave me an opportunity to speak a couple of times. And then after I would speak, people would say, "Oh man, that was great. That was great." So I started to do that more, teaching, speaking, and that kind of just led me down the path of for the second half of my college years, I was a youth minister.
Nice, man.
I just started doing that.
That's awesome.
Really weird because Nikki Bullock, one of the realtors in town, I laugh with her because she was actually back in Mississippi. She's here now, but she was in Mississippi then. She was in my youth group. She was 17 when I was 18, and I was her youth minister.
Wow.
We were a year apart. We laugh all the time because it's like, how did the adults in the room allow that to happen? Because I was still a kid myself. But that allowed me to start early. I cut my teeth, and I did about 20 years or so working in the world of youth ministry, children's ministry. I toured the country speaking with camps, doing retreats. A lot of fun adventures in that season.
Man, 20 years of youth pastor life.
Yeah, man. I think of it in so many different ways. And I'd be lying if I didn't say it was painful.
Oh yeah.
And there'll be, if this is being broadcast in Murfreesboro, there's people who know me as a minister, and they have lots of questions about my story because there's a lot of pain to it. But now, after having perspective of over a decade being out of it, I look at it with great gratitude.
Yeah.
The teenagers that I work with, they're now parents, and and they're just to see the investments I made early on that you didn't even realize you're making, see them come to fruition, and just these beautiful people that are growing up and doing amazing things. I'm just so, there's sometimes where I can just get overwhelmed with gratitude that I had the opportunity to serve that way. It was really cool.
That's amazing, man. Shall see you, man. I know that definitely takes a special type of commitment and just a different level of everything. So
I think of, I like to tell people that ministry is a different deal. And you're, you're the first responders for the soul.
That's it. Dang, that's a good way to put it. Wow.
And it really is a lot like a first responder job now. Not at all making light of what they do, because what they do is amazing. But it's on a lot of different levels. First responders, you're invited to people's most sacred moments. I can remember 3 different times where I was called out because one of my students had died, and I got there before the parents did. So in 3 different occasions, I'm sitting there with the corpse of a teenager that I loved and was serving, and then I had to be there when the mom or dad entered the room. It doesn't get more sacred than that.
Damn.
And what do you say in that moment? What do you do in that moment? I remember being called out to go to a school and to tell a young girl that her boyfriend had just died, and but then you're in these intense moments where, because I'm the advocate for the teenager, and then you're in the room where the mom and dad are getting divorced or have divorced, and you're helping to referee that moment, and you're watching the child deal with all the pain. So you're just people tell you their worst things. They tell you their pain. They tell you their habits, their the things that they do that they're ashamed of, that they don't want to tell anybody else. They invite you to the sacred parts. People allow ministers sometimes to see the things they will show no one else, not even their own parents, not even their own spouses. There's a sacredness to that I always have tried to honor. And even to this day, when I look back on it, that is what I say is honorable that I got to be a part of, is that people allowed me into those places. And hopefully I took care of their souls while they gave me that opportunity. But on the other side, the first responder part is, it's hard. You're always in somebody's pain.
Yeah.
And in order to manage and just be sane, you have to almost be like the first responders. I always wonder how they're at the scene of this horrible accident and they're talking about what they did last weekend.
Yeah, right.
But you almost have to put this guard in your heart and soul to, and unfortunately, I believe ministers have to do it too. They can't feel every bit of the pain that they're helping people with, or they're no good to help. If you felt everybody's pain all the way through, you would be useless. Yeah. So you have to at some point guard your heart against it and be there to be helpful. That's a whole nother deal. So that's why I say first responder to the soul. It was a great season. Yeah, but that was good and hard.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. As a pretty big empath myself, man, like just it gets heavy, and I don't know why, but sometimes I've had it my whole life. It's just like, tell me your weirdest stuff.
I just sitting about you.
Just sitting there, I'll just have people spill their guts, like plane ride, sitting at a bar, whatever, at a coffee shop. It's like just it happened to my aunt her whole life too, and it was me and her. We'd always be like, I don't know why, but we'll get the tea without asking.
It's a special gift.
Yeah, I feel your pain on that, and I do also feel a lot of gratitude that, well, for whatever reason, people trust at that level. But yeah, that's a cool, weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah, powerful. That's one of the things I love about you, Trent, is you have a gentle spirit, my friend. You just make people feel at ease. No matter where they come from, what they believe, what they think, they feel like they're safe with you. And that is just, it's just not common at all. Hey. So you're a pearl, my friend. You're a pearl.
Man, don't get me too choked up this early in, man. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I don't
remember. I'm from Baltimore, so I'm not going to flunk you. I'm not going to tell you something that's not true.
That's real, man. Thank you for that. It's a gift and a curse for sure, but I love it. I love it for the most part. But let's get into some current day stuff, man. Obviously, well, not everybody knows this, but take us through the evolution of what has become Boro Business Lab. What led up to that? It's always one of my favorite stories. Just talk about, the beauty of small business and what could be bitter competition and all rivalry and trying to, take over, like having these very harsh boundaries and stuff, and what's turned into be just such a beautiful collaboration and something that's really working, and such a testament to that collaboration over competition thing that I push pretty hard over here at STP. So take us through that. Man.
Well, I'll start with the transition. I did come to Murfreesboro to be a part of a church. It was my third, like, really large church, back to back. Working for large churches, or attending large churches are fun. Working for them started to not be fun for me.
Right. I can imagine.
And I think that's important to note. For me, it started to not be fun. For a lot of people, they still love working in those environments. It wasn't right for me anymore. So I made a transition. My boys were young. And at that time, my transition, I was still very passionate about parenting. I felt like parents are the greatest influence in the lives of kids. So if you want to influence kids, influence their parents.
Boom.
And so I was a young parent myself, so I wanted to learn everything I could and then share it. So I got invited into a group of guys who wanted to build membership sites. Membership sites were the coolest thing. You know, you pay a little bit per month and you give them some information, and it was a new thing back then, 10, 11 years ago.
That's crazy. You were doing that 10, 11 years ago?
Oh yeah. And so this group was like, this is a new thing. Let's try it. Let's all build one together and let's be in a group and check in with each other. Well, I wanted to be in the group. I didn't really have much of an idea, but I came up with parentzilla.com. And, and I remember Nancy over at the D&J, she put it on the front page of the D&J. She really helped me, and that got me into USA Today. And got me and so I had a really big following there. When I was giving it away for free, but when it came time to charge parents,
that paywall, man,
they weren't as interested. So made that shift and went back to what I knew and created a ministry to parents.com, which allowed churches would pay me for content, and then they would give that to parents for free. So it was just a different way to do it. That ended up being a great thing that we did for 10 years. And my wife ran it for the last part. And it's been a great thing.
That core group of guys, did y'all do that the whole time, or did you kind of?
No. We just kind of got through the first initial part.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then, but then once I got into it, I started getting hooked.
Yeah,
you know?
I can imagine.
So I think of the internet and digital marketing as the wild, wild west, especially 10, 11 years ago. There was so much money to be made, so much opportunity that I didn't even understand.
Yeah.
It's changed a lot. There's still plenty of opportunity, but it's not like it was. It was amazing. So through that membership site, I learned a lot about how to make money online. Yeah. How to sell things to people online. I'm self-taught. So
that's awesome.
About 5 years into that process, I started getting asked by friends, hey, we've got this thing we want to do. Can you help us? Can we pay you to help us get going? So just kind of randomly started a digital marketing agency consulting type thing, because they would see what I was doing with the membership side and they were wanting some help. So I was like, sure. Well, that turned into what I call Dreamstorm Digital Marketing.
Love it.
And then
I love that name.
Yeah, thanks.
Can we talk about it real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Where was the origin?
I feel like I invented it, but I know somehow I'm going to learn that I didn't.
No.
But it's I love brainstorming.
Yep.
I love dreaming.
Oh yeah.
And so to me, there's a part in a process when you're dealing with an idea where you dream it, but then you start to brainstorm it to make the plan of action. And that in between of Dreamstorm is where I'm actually at my best.
Damn, that's cool.
So, I loved doing that. So, anyway, built up a couple of clients. It was all behind the scenes. Me and my wife were running the membership site. It was all good. I got cancer back in 2016.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, lymphoma. And so what was cool about having a membership site was for about a year and a half, I was working from my hospital bed, but it wasn't much, because the membership site could run itself really by that point. So it provided for our family when we really needed help.
That's amazing.
And we didn't have to do any GoFundMes or anything. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just we were provided for. We were great. We felt very grateful. So then, but coming out of cancer, I needed a place to go work. So I went to Cultivate Co-working.
Nice.
And love Gretchen, love Chris,
love
Missy, all the people.
Big supporters of the network, by the way. Thank you to Cultivate Co-working.
Yes.
Plug their commercial right after this in the
episode. And so they were welcoming and loving. And I went over there, ran into Dean Heasley there, and he was like, I know you from when you were a minister. I used to blah, blah, blah. It's like, cool. Nice to meet you. And we just had a little conversation. Ran into Josh, or Gretchen introduced me to Josh. And so we would just kind of run into each other. Yeah, you know how it is. Eventually, lunch engagements were planned. And you're right. There was this moment where you had to make a choice.
Yeah.
Because they also ran digital marketing firms. And it was this thing of, are we competitors or are we friends? Or can we be both? How are we going to navigate this?
Yeah.
And what I loved about the two of them is they shared a very similar philosophy, which is, cooperation over competition.
Yeah, man.
And another thing that really helped us is we all had our specialty.
Exactly.
You know, Josh is the website guy, Dean is the Google SEO guy, and I was email marketing, funnels, social media, blah, blah, blah. And so the fact that we all had our specialties and our clients kind of relied on us in those specialties, we were much less of a threat. And truthfully, the more we got around each other, we were like, we could totally, you know, do something cool together. So we decided to have an event, which you attended.
Yep.
We randomly called it Boro Biz Lab.
Yeah, right.
And
so good.
And
story gets me every time.
Yeah. And so,
so good.
we got like 30, 40 business owners in a room. We just taught them. And we all said, you know, whatever clients come from this, whatever specialty they need, that goes to specialty. That's how we did it. Worked out great. And we did it a second time. We started to really refer to each other for our projects. We're like, if I needed a website, it was always Josh. If, you know, we were just always referring to each other. So we had enough interaction, probably about 2 or 3 years, where we were like, okay, you know, we've dated long enough, and it's time to get married. I remember Dean invited me to go to some seminar for the day. We all, the two of us, went out, and we came back, and we just kept saying to each other, you know, we keep hearing some things about, well, let's keep it positive and spread the positive. Let's just say, if we came together, the three of us could be an agency in town that really helps people.
Yeah.
And that based on what we were hearing was needed.
Yes.
And so we just said to ourselves, what does that look like? So we gathered Josh in. We said, let's go for it. We signed the paperwork. And that's been 2 years ago now. And Boro Business Lab has been an official thing for 2 years. And it's been easily the best 2 years of my career. No problem. I've had so much fun. And it has everything to do with those two guys. Now that they're here, I'll talk nice about them. If they're here, I wouldn't do it. But, they're two amazing men. And we have shared values, but very different gifts.
Yeah.
Which makes a beautiful partnership.
That triangulation of greatness, man. I say that quite a bit. As someone on the outside looking in, as I was kind of going down, and you kind of see the writing on the wall a little bit, man, it was really cool. Again, it was just so cool to watch that come together the way it has. And now 2 years later, y'all are killing it, and like a staple, like you said, for local businesses here in the area. And dude, it's just been cool to watch. Seriously, I think it's a testament to like how it should be, really. So, man, that's what we're talking about here. It's about the positive. What's going right, man? So with all that being said, that's so cool, dude. That gets me every time. So shouts to the whole team: Josh, Dean, Macy, Megan.
Good job.
Yeah. And the new office is really coming together.
Yeah.
It is really like got a lab feel. You walk in and it's just vibey. It's so cool. So
I walked out of the office to come here, and Josh was programming all of the LED lights. And he's got it to where we say, hey, Google, turn on the lab, and the whole lab turns. Like he's turning it into a lab.
That sounds like a Josh thing to do.
He's just having so much fun.
Nice.
And when Dean walks in, he can walk in and say, hey, Google, it's Dean, and Google curses him. So we've got it all figured out. We're having a lot of fun over there, and we want everybody to please come by and visit.
Yes, man.
You don't have to schedule an appointment. Just jump in. And on, I don't know when this comes out, but on August 4th, we are doing our red ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
Our ribbon cutting.
Yeah, man.
Come cut ribbon with us.
I will.
4 o'clock.
I'm going to sign it for sure. I'm going to say, good job, guys. Trent Denson. That's probably what I say. That's dope, dude. That's such a cool story. And obviously all of y'all out there, if y'all have any needs, actually, let's clarify. If you're a local business, like go over a couple of the stipulations, because I think that's something to really, hone in on too. Because obviously that has to be a major part of the magic, like y'all's ability to say no is awesome. And that's a compliment. Really? Yeah, I think that's a compliment.
Oh man. Okay, that's good. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that back to the team and say Trent says we're good.
If you have to, if it doesn't fit the formula, right?
Yeah. So if you're selling a widget to the whole dang world on the internet, so like I sell this water bottle, it's this very special, unique water bottle, and I have a Shopify store and I sell it to everybody in the whole dang world. Well, that's one set of digital marketing. The rules for that is, speaking of water, the rules for that are different than if I have a store, a mom or pop shop who sells to a zip code. Right. Now, it could be any zip code. You could be in Missouri and we can help you. If you're selling to St. Louis, Missouri, that's great. You are a local business selling to a local area. Yes. You're not selling to the whole world.
Right.
Now, we have created a formula, basically best practices for local businesses when they put their business online to be able to sell and promote and get more customers to come to their business. We have put 7 things together that they need to do in order of priority. And now we've worked with over 200 businesses. I've not seen one that goes outside of the formula. The formula works.
Yeah.
And I'm a believer that if we sell something, we sell knowing what to do. And truthfully, we give that away for free. We'll tell you our formula.
Yeah.
But knowing what to do is so important. You know how it is. 100%. Like, it feels like there's a million things floating around. What do I do? And knowing here's what you do. Just do this. And then after that, do this. There's just such peace to that.
Yes.
I can, if I have a plan, I can attack the plan. Well, that's what our formula is for local businesses.
Nice. And I think that's just really cool how y'all, and it doesn't have to be hyper local here. Like you said, it can be anywhere as long as it is a local business to a local audience.
That's right.
Versus, regionally or nationally or anything like that. I think it's really, really cool how it's very strategic for a very specific type of customer. So, again, just niching it up, the things we know to do, and lo and behold, it works. It worked again. I'll be dang. But I think that's so cool. So be sure to check them out, borobusinesslab.com. All the socials are at Boro Business Lab. I'm basically y'all's sounding board salesperson, but anyway,
hey, let's talk.
I mean, we got something relatively on paper, so if y'all be sure to tell them Trent or Spread the Positive sends you
that commission,
get that mailbox money. But anyway, Jeremy, we always talk about mindset, man. The whole tagline of Spread the Positive is try to be conscious of that energy you're carrying. Obviously, being the pastor, the empath, that kind of comes naturally for you. So it's a great person to answer this question, in my opinion. But when you're down and out, when you're having those days that aren't very Spread the Positive, like, if you will, what are some of your go-to tips or tools in the toolbox, if you will, to kind of switch up that mindset?
Yeah. Because of my ministry years, I've learned a lot about pace. And I don't work on Fridays. It drives my partners crazy because they love to work on Fridays. They're like, why don't you work on Fridays? Because Friday is basically Jeremy Day.
Okay.
And from morning to afternoon, I work to take care of myself in any way I need to.
Nice.
And so a big part of that is journaling. And I use it to wrap my head around whatever's going on in my head to get it out. I just need to dump it. So when I read it, I can be like, oh, that's what I've been thinking about. Another part of that is therapy. I go to therapy regularly. I'm proud to say so. Don't think it's weak. Anybody who thinks it's weak, I think you're weak.
Exactly. I second that.
So go to therapy and work out with my therapist. Sometimes do massages, sometimes do workouts, self-care, all that stuff. And I know a lot of people might hear this and be like, dude, you're a dude. You're not. I'm like, I've learned that a definition of a strong man, this could be a whole other conversation, we won't go, but is so skewed in our world. Strength, I believe strength comes from health and balance.
Yes.
And so pace allows me to understand when I'm pushing past where I'm striving, and I'm going 120% instead of 80%.
Yeah.
I'm at my best when I'm going 80%. And hear me, I didn't say 100.
Yeah, right.
I said 80.
Yeah.
But I sometimes will push it to 120 because I want something so bad, and I can do that for a short season, but not for a long.
It's that fill your cup up.
Yeah. So pacing is a big deal to me.
I love that.
I've just started a practice of writing a haiku trying to write a haiku a day. I didn't even know what a haiku was.
Let's go.
My wife brought me a TED talk from some dude who writes a haiku a day, and she's like, "Check this out. I think I'm gonna do this." I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna try it too because they're easy to write and they're
probably funny. I bet yours are funny.
Yeah, they kind of clear your mind.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
That's dope.
And
do you have one for today?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Sorry, I wrote one to my laptop the other day because my laptop's been around for 7 years. I'm really proud of my laptop.
Yeah.
So I gave it a little pep talk in the haiku.
Love that. Dude, I love that. The haiku a day, huh? Just something to think about and put a bookend on the day type thing. Or just
it's a morning thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But let me give a plug, by the way. Did you know that we have a whole poetry thing, Murfreesboro Poetry?
Corey Wells.
Oh, you know all them?
Yeah.
My wife and I went to that.
Bloom Stage.
Yeah, we went. It was at Gallagher thing. We went last month.
Yeah. Or the Walnut Room. Or was it in Gallagher?
It was in the Gallagher
Okay.
room, and they did poetry readings, and all these people performed. And
that's dope.
Oh, yeah. We're in. We can't wait till the next one. It was so amazing. And Murfreesboro, we got some cool stuff going on. We got the poetry. We got all the live music around town. I know we're bumping up on time, but man, it's some cool crap going on.
Yeah, Cedar Glade Acoustic Garage, man. It's on deck.
Jeff Lecision over here, tearing it up.
I think we're aiming for this Friday for the people watching live or see this live. I think we're aiming for this Friday for the first acoustic garage at Cedar Glade. It's gonna be cool. We're gonna stream it, have a little interview type thing. I think I'm gonna host it and encourage people to play their own music, no covers. Let's talk about the local music scene.
Do y'all ever do a songwriter round?
We're going to those. I mean, that's on deck for sure. So this is kind of Jonathan's. Well, Jonathan and Jeremy have been talking about it for a while, but I think Jonathan's really taking the reins on this and making it happen. So as always, shouts to Jonathan.
Yes,
another
Cedar Glade,
another BBL fam,
a proud client. We love serving them. And they pay in beer.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Boro Business Brews, man.
That's right.
Got your little caricature cheers. Yeah, that's so good. They have their own beer, people. It's amazing. So they're doing.
Come by the lab. You can get some. As long as you're of drinking age.
Yes, we will ID you. That's hilarious. All right, so a couple more questions, man. We'll wrap it up. But what's going right, man? That's the tagline. Bringing light to what's going right. According to you, what's going right in the world, according to Mr. Jeremy Lee?
Wow, man. Wow. Okay.
Taking it there.
I marvel. I've got two boys, 16 and 14. And I've worked with teenagers for a really, really long time. Every generation is the horrible generation that's going to ruin the planet.
Right.
And in every generation, hope lives in the young. So
bars.
I watch my boys and I watch their friends, and my wife and I are very involved in their school. And one of the reasons why is because the energy of just watching these kids who are under the most pressure you can imagine. Imagine if you and I had a camera in our pocket and social media and all the things and being tracked by Life 360. And these kids just take all of this pressure and they just eat it for breakfast and they just shine.
Yeah.
And that's what's going right in my opinion.
That's dope, man. That's a great answer. And yeah, I'm with you. Every time these the younger folks are coming up and gonna run everything.
Yeah.
We got a way of showing you that it might not be your perception at all.
Check the history. Every great movement in our country and in the world started with the youth.
Always. Yeah. Shouts to the youth. Keep it up. And like you said, I couldn't imagine. Man, we were right before that, we could still, cell phones were there, but not like this. No apps, no tracking, dude. That would not go. That's just not how.
And the amount of competition and pressure.
Yeah.
And whatever they choose for an extracurricular activity, it's supposed to be for fun.
Right.
That's gone long ago.
This is
literally by the time they're about 8 or 9 years old, that's when the fun stops.
Yeah.
And it now becomes almost like a job.
Yeah.
To earn a scholarship.
Doing something.
That could be a whole nother episode too.
Hey, it sounds like you might need to bring back your little pod life, your career as a pod.
No, man, we're good.
We're good. Absolutely not.
We're good.
Well, you have a welcome seat anytime. Come and talk your truth, man. We can get into all these convos because it's necessary, man. And I think you're spot on. I love the idea about that. The whole male and strength, what real strength looks like, man. We can definitely run that back whenever. I think that's something that needs to be talked about for sure.
Boardrooms and ball fields.
Bro.
Like I think men, we measure whether or not we're good and strong by how we perform in the boardrooms or on a ball field. And it's really not about that at all.
Sure.
That's not where our worth is measured.
That's so true, man. Getting there, man. This is why I do this, man. So thank you for coming with it today. I knew you would. You always do. It's like I said, it's been overdue, but when the time's right, the time's right. So
thank you for the invitation,
man. All right, we got two more, man.
Hey,
we're not quite done yet. Grateful for 4 things you're most grateful for right now.
4?
Yep.
All right, so just took my family to Disney World, and that was quite a feat financially. That was just crazy. They just sucked the money out the wallet. So I'm really grateful that we had the provision to be able to go as a family and have memories, and it was luxurious. It wasn't a need, it was a want, and I'm just really grateful for that.
Nice.
I'm grateful for my partners.
Yeah.
They're good men, and I don't know how I've stumbled into this, but it's a blessing. I am grateful for my community. It's interesting being a minister in this community, being a businessman in this community. I've gotten to live both. Definitely prefer being a businessman because I get to see all different kinds of people, not just the kind of people that and I get to see what makes them tick, and it's beautiful. And I am grateful for, I don't know, my dog Charlie.
Let's go, Charlie, man. Good
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. I'm grateful for my pup too.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate what you do, how you carry yourself, just your story, man. I didn't realize it was 20 years, dude. That's a long time. Definitely learned a couple things. Survivor, bro. Like, man, salute. Just you're doing something right, definitely in God's favor. So it's always a pleasure, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for all things BBL, the team, the squad, the support. Y'all have helped me so much here at STP. Doing Dean's shows is already super fun. Can't wait to see what all that turns into. So the BBL STP connection's a real one, man, and super grateful for it. So thanks to you. Thank you to your fam. Thank you for everything.
Thanks to you. Same thing.
We out.